Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the November 21st, 2023 Town Board meeting. If you all please rise for the pledge to the flag. Luciana, will you lead us?
Sure. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If we could all remain standing, please, for a moment of silence. And keep in your thoughts and prayers all of our first responders, our police, our fire, our ambulance, that help us on a daily basis. And also keep in your thoughts and prayers the men and women of the armed forces that keep our freedoms free, and also their parents and relatives, husbands, wives, sisters, brothers, kids, who may not have them home for Thanksgiving. Thank you. Amen. All right. How's everybody doing? Oh, you're the best, John. You really are. Oh, geez. We're from the Peanut Gallery out here already tonight. All right. From my right, let's start with some introductions.
Good evening, Diana Quast, Town Clerk.
Good evening, Deputy Supervisor, Councilman Ed Lachterman.
Tom Diana, Supervisor.
Luciana Howitt, Councilwoman.
Happy Tuesday, Councilwoman Mary Capoccia.
All right. I'm going to switch it up.
Hold on.
Oh,
What, are we invisible over here?
look, you got to be on point, okay? Let's step it up.
My compatriot over here was a little slow on the draw.
All right. We'll give him a little slack.
It's a scarf.
It's cold over here.
I
right
like
by
it.
the
I
window.
like it. No, I like
Adam Rodriguez, town attorney.
And then
Dave
handsome guy next to
Paganelli,
you.
Highway Superintendent.
All right. Sorry, guys. All righty. All right. I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I'm going to let the board go first with some of their reports, and we'll start from Mary.
Hi, good evening, everyone. How are you? Happy early Thanksgiving. So I have a couple of announcements, which I can finally say because I'm going first. Garbage pickup. Tomorrow there is it tomorrow? Yeah, Thursday, Thanksgiving, there is no kitchen refuse or recycling. All collections will be picked up tomorrow. So make sure you put it out tonight. And Toys for Tots. Tom, I don't know if you can get this. There is a Toys for Tots collection. We have 3 boxes, one at the J.C. Hart Library, one at the Albert A. Cappellini Community Center, and one in front of the town clerk's office. If you have any questions, you can call Diana in the town clerk's office, 914-962-8152. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't congratulate Supervisor Tom Diana and Councilman Ed Lachterman and Town Clerk Diana Quast on their re-elections. Also, I'd like to congratulate Councilman-elect Patrick Murphy on his election to my upcoming seat. I will be leaving the end of December. And on that note, I just want to wish everybody a very, very happy Thanksgiving. You know, in my family, every Thanksgiving, we go around the table and we ask everybody what they're thankful for. And the kids, of course, as they grow up, they started with my toys, to my family, to all sorts of stuff. Well, this year, I myself am very thankful for my brand new grandson, but also for the opportunity to have served the town of Yorktown this year. So on that note, happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Great. Luch?
Okay. Happy Thanksgiving. I want to give my husband a big shout out for passing his national paramedic exam. He's got just the state.
Yeah, Rick.
Thank you for his service. On that note, I also want to give a shout out to a local business here in town. Her name is Michelle Lent. She is a medical massage therapist. She does body work and energy work, which deals with like PTSD and lymphatic drainage. She does accept New York SHIP, Empire Insurance. So it's something that our government employees and our first responders are commonly carried by, so they can go in. I definitely recommend, especially the fire department, the EMTs, and the police department, because I think you guys can get one like all the time. I got the chance to step into my kids' classes today for their Thanksgiving their Thanksgiving holiday parties. And it's interesting, they think it's a celebration of cookies and whatnot. But when I asked them to go grab a plate for someone else that was in their class and to choose a friend to fill their plate and give it to them, and just to say thank you for being their friend in their class, I definitely saw that pause and then that consideration and then the inquisition of like, are you allergic to anything? Do you like vanilla or chocolate? And I just want to let you all know that I hope that on your Thanksgiving feast, or even if you're alone that day, that you reflect on the things that you're most grateful for and you take a little time to ask those important questions. So happy Thanksgiving, Yorktown.
All right, thank you. Ed?
All right, well, while we talk about being thankful and filling plates, the Yorktown Lions ran a turkey drive for those in need. We delivered 60 to the middle school and high school, over 125 to St. Mary's, and after an emergency phone call for another 24 on Saturday morning, I believe we donated over 50 to the Presbyterian Church for their food banks when they went through all of them. So, on behalf of myself and the rest of the Yorktown Lions, we are just so grateful for the community. There were donations that came in through cash, which we were able to buy turkeys with. That's how we got some of those emergency ones. And it was just a really, it shows why Yorktown is so special, why we lead from the front, and why we have so many people who care about the community. And it was just absolutely touching. And I understand that the plea has already gone out for spiral hams for the Christmas holidays. Thanksgiving, I don't think the hams would work too good, but they do have some turkeys as well. But please, if that's in your thoughts, watch out for the Yorktown Lions doing something for that. If not, I will spearhead some myself and be dropping off to St. Mary's with hams. So that'll be the next stop. But thank you to the community for that, and what a great response.
All right.
That's it.
Thank you, Ed. You delivered the turkeys, huh? The turkey delivered the turkeys?
Yes, the turkey delivered the turkeys. Actually, one day we delivered, I think it was 140. We needed 3 vehicles
Wow.
to get them there. It
Was that when I saw the little car up like this going up the road?
we were lucky. We had actually Ron Fidel joined us and helped out. He just happened to run into Tom McLaughlin at the store. Mm-hmm. We were on our way down to Restaurant Depot to pick up 27 cases of turkeys. Yeah, and and let me give a shout out to Restaurant Depot, Uncle Giuseppe's, Acme, Trader Joe's, and ShopRite. Especially ShopRite. ShopRite actually took care of the whole donation for the schools. That was 60 turkeys without blinking. And they've always been very supportive, whether it's a cereal drive, veterans, and or the school. But it just really one of the principles I like to hold as a business owner. It's great to see other businesses do that. Is that you're nothing without the community that you operate in, and they really, when the bell rang, they came and answered the call.
All right. Thank you, Ed. And I think our highway superintendent has some exciting news for the people of Old Crampon
I
Road.
do. So I guess some of you out there and some of you in here may be aware of the fact that Old Crampon Road has been closed between Lynette and Boundbrook since July.
It's July.
To the chagrin of many people. Friday, I had the opportunity to go out there with our new engineering firm that is a structural engineer company, and they assessed the bridge, and we determined that we do have the capability, although the fascia on both sides of the bridge is shot, the structural integrity of the center of the bridge is substantial. So the plan is, at this moment, we're going to make it a one-lane bridge. Okay, in other words, traffic can only travel in the center. We're going to barricade it off such. I've already reached out to traffic lane closures, and we're going to rent 2 traffic lights to mitigate traffic out there because I don't think stop signs would be adequate. And the hope is that that center lane is paved and we have it open by the end of next week. I really wanted it open for Thanksgiving, but that was not to be. So, thank you. You'll see on the agenda this evening is $150,000 to set up the capital fund so that we can start paying for some of this stuff. And I'm really excited that we won't be putting a tremendous amount of traffic down White Hill in the middle of the winter, which is dangerous in the middle of the summer. So I'm happy tonight. Although, when my wife went to start boiling potatoes today, the range broke. It just exploded. So now, the day before Thanksgiving tomorrow, I have no range. So I'm going to take the Irish exit later on and leave because I'd like to go to Home Depot and see if I can buy a range and get it put in tomorrow. You know, the cooktop thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a heck of a week. The highs, the lows, but I'm
The real
thrilled
peach
through.
and pit.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, Dave,
Yes, sir.
make reservations.
Yeah, a little late for that. Well, thank you, Yorktown, and God bless and happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Thank you,
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
And just so that roadway is going to be weight restricted for that
Correct.
particular bridge. So
4-ton.
so anybody that's going over there with any type of hefty, you can't go over it with a hefty vehicle. So like your oil trucks, gas trucks, so on and so forth, can't go over that. Passenger vehicles only. So just a little note on that. And it's going to have the traffic lights on each side, right, Dave?
Correct. Even though it's only it's 100 foot in its entirety, the area of disturbance, but the culvert itself is only about 60 feet that we have to get paved. So it's still too far. There's no way to suspend it over the center.
Right.
If that were the case, that would certainly be better. But they're synced together, and we can also program them such that in the morning when most of the traffic is heading eastbound, it will favor that traffic in terms of the length of time of the red and green, and vice versa, an afternoon rush hour heading westbound.
Yeah, they're a real useful tool. Anybody that's been by Camp Smith has probably seen them on that little bridge as you start head up the Bear Mountain Bridge Road. I guess they're going to reconstruct that bridge at some point in time, so they've had that closed with that similar type of device. All right, my turn. First of all, happy early Thanksgiving, everybody. I wish everybody and your families all the best. Enjoy the day. Enjoy your time with your families. God knows that our time that we get to spend with our families is all too short. Big shout out to Maya Montalvo. She made her Eagle Scout. This is an amazing young woman. I've met her now on numerous occasions. Her Eagle project was to refurbish a World War I cannon in front of the VFW and I'm not sure where the anchor came from, but a metal anchor in front of the VFW. I don't know what war or ship that may have been from, but that was the start of her Eagle project. She's also been to the American Legion Girls State, which is quite a prestigious thing. Actually, the Lakeland School District had, I believe it was 4 people that had gone to that this year. One of them became senator, if I'm not mistaken. Governor, I'm sorry.
Was a governor.
Of Girls State. I'm also proud of them. Maya, not only is she an Eagle Scout, she's a hockey player for the school hockey team. She's done that project with sandblasting and spray painting and all that kind of stuff. She plays whatever instrument that the school wants her to play. She's an amazing young lady. She wants to go to West Point, and I think that she's just going to keep on amazing us with the things that she does. Good luck to you, Maya. Ed, last Sunday was the monthly fundraiser breakfast at the American Legion. And I'm going to throw this back at you in a couple of seconds here. The times are going to change that Ed could fill you in with the next one. That's going to be the holiday party, and I think there may be a guest that's going to show up there. Senator Murphy is hosting his annual turkey trot. All right, that's going to be on Thursday, November 23rd, from 8:30 to 10. It'll start at the dead end portion of Front Street, and there'll be some there'll be coffee and so forth there for the runners. I'll be there. Pat Murphy will be there. Jim Ranchmit. It's to support the food pantries, including St. Mary's, and to also United for the Troops. So that's a laudable thing. You can sign up online. I don't have the color room with me, but Tom, can you zoom in on this? Right, it's got the QR code on there. You can donate, you can sign up, you can do whatever you have to do online. And it's got, there's also sponsorships available still, if anybody wants to sponsor. I understand there are approximately 200 runners already signed up. This has grown exponentially over the past number of years. It's a great event. If you can, you don't have to run. If you want to walk, you can walk too.
I'll be walking.
You'll be walking? I think
If your wife is running.
I think you're going to have a partner.
I think she's coming.
The other thing, I had the distinct honor and privilege to attend. I was invited to our new universal pre-K, which is at French Hill School. I was blown away. My expectations were exceeded 100%. To see what they have done downstairs in that school, it was awesome. The kids were having a ball. They even made me a little picture with all their fingerprints on them as the leaves of the trees and stuff like that. It was really cool. My kudos is out to the YMCA who's putting that on. I'm not sure of the number, but I believe they still even have some openings there. I think they could go up to 150, and I think they have about 130 right now. But the program has taken off. It's amazing. The setups that they have there for the kids and the staff is absolutely wonderful. Kudos to them. And Cindy Delfino, you're on point with it. Thank you so much. Lastly, I want to thank everybody for your support. From the bottom of my heart, I greatly appreciate all of you that came out and supported me. I will not let you down. I promise you that. And that's all I have. Hams for St. Mary's, please. We need spiral hams for St. Mary's. If you can spare to drop a ham off at St. Mary's during the daytime, that would be great. Okay, that's all I got. For everybody, anybody got anything else? Ed, you want to give them a
Yes.
Oh, I left the thing upstairs. Yeah.
Do you want me to go get it?
Would you mind?
No, no.
I left it upstairs. We'll mention that. Darn it.
I mean, I did have a turkey hat today.
What is it, the proc?
Yeah.
I get it.
So,
Oh, okay, boss.
It's right on that first desk when you walk in. Thank you, Adam.
so this coming month, the Sons of the American Legion will not be having their breakfast. They do their Veterans Luncheon this month on the third Sunday. I believe it starts at noon. I will have to look into that because they still have the October one online. So basically, it's free for veterans to attend. It's $10 for their guest. The Sons of the American Legion, as individuals, will cook and donate the items that are produced for the luncheon. So it's a very nice event. It will be the third Sunday, which I'm not even sure what it is. The date. I don't know.
What is it,
I don't
third
have my
Sunday,
calendar.
December?
Yeah, I don't have my
Not the
calendar. on my-
11th, so
If it's not the 11th, it's the 18th.
18th
then.
then.
Okay.
All right, I didn't know when the first one was. So on the 18th, I believe it starts at 12. And
17th. Third Sunday, December?
yeah,
17th.
17th, thank you. So, but you do have to
Right,
make
the 11th is Monday.
reservations, and you go through the post because it is capped just due to the amount of people that could be held in the room. But you could email post 1009. Let me give you the exact email address. Post.
Thanks, Adam.
1009. At New York Legion 1009.org. So post 1009 at nylegion1009.org. And you can make your reservations through there. Thank you.
Great, Ed. Thanks so much. Now that I have my proclamation in front of me, this is from the town of Yorktown. It's a proclamation to Norman Bussell. He is celebrating his 100th birthday. Whereas Norman Bussell was born in Memphis, Tennessee on October 2nd, 1923, and currently lives in Mohegan Lake, New York. And whereas during World War II, he served as a radio operator gunner on a B-52 bomber flying out of Rattleson, England on April 29th, 1944. He was shot down over Berlin with 4 of his crew losing their lives. He was interned in Stalag Luft 4 at, Grossety Chow near the Baltic Sea. And in February 1945, as Russian troops advanced, he was among the POWs the Germans moved by boxcar to a camp at Nuremberg to avoid liberation. As American forces crossed in on Nuremberg, he was then moved to Moosburg in Bavaria and ultimately liberated by General Patton's Tank Corps on April 29, 1945. Whereas upon returning home, he attended Memphis State University on the GI Bill and then joined the family supermarket business. In 1965, he entered the publishing field, becoming an editor at Progressive Grocer magazine, and was later promoted to Profit Center manager. Later, he joined Supermarket Business magazine as a research director, and whereas in 1980, he and his wife, Melanie, founded Melnor Publishing, Inc., provided the drugstore industry with marketing information, and whereas now retired, he has been active for more than 20 years in the Hudson Valley chapter of American Ex-Prisoners of War, serving as trustee, adjutant, and commander. He has served in the New York State Department of AXPO, which is the American Ex-Prisoner of War, as member of the Finance Committee and as a delegate to national conventions, elected as a director on the board of the AXPO Service Foundation in March of 2000. He was named vice president in September 2000 and elected president in 2003.
Wow.
He retired from the foundation in 2007 to concentrate on his writing. Whereas his book, My Private War, Liberated Body, Captive Mind, was published in November 2008 by Pegasus Books. And whereas in 2004, he and his wife became Expo National Service officers and maintained office hours at the VA hospital in Montrose, New York, where they assisted former POWs, their widows, and other veterans in filing claims for service-connected benefits. And whereas on June 19, 2007, Norman Bussell was called to testify before the House Veterans Affairs Subcommittee on Disability Assistance and Memorial Affairs. Not moral affairs, memorial affairs. He addressed legislation which would correct an inequity affecting POW widows whose husbands passed away before September 30th, 1999. Whereas in September 2009, he was again called to testify before John Hall's House Subcommittee on legislation which would make it easier for veterans to apply for PTSD benefits, and he was the keynote speaker at the Drug Enforcement Agency's Veterans Day observance in November 2009. And whereas in 2010, he was appointed as a member of the National POW Advisory Commission, a 12-member board which meets twice a year and reports directly to the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. His term expired in 2017. And whereas on July 1st, 2017, Norm was awarded the Legion d'Honneur by the French government for his World War II service. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Thomas P. Diana, Town Supervisor of the Town of Yorktown, and on behalf of the entire Town Board, congratulate Norman on his 100th birthday. His magnificent milestone is truly a cause for celebration, and we are grateful for the selfless service to our nation during World War II and subsequent work for Veterans Affairs. Thank you so much, Norman, and happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Norman.
God bless.
God bless you.
That was beautiful.
He was busy.
He accomplished a lot in 100 years.
He was
Beautiful
busy.
life.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful life story, and we're going to serve this on him tomorrow, probably midday, so he can have it for himself. Hopefully, he and his wife are watching this. I think it'd be a great thing.
Do you know if he likes chocolate or vanilla cake?
I don't know.
I mean, we could ask.
We could always ask. We could
Tommy,
always ask.
before you start the meeting, you want to talk about the Holiday Lights Parade? It is next week. If anybody wants to enter.
Go ahead, Mayor.
So the Holiday Lights Parade, next Saturday, December 2nd. What's the time? What time does it start?
Oh no, it's starting
Five-
earlier.
Yeah,
Oh,
5
it is.
o'clock parade step-off. I mean, we do have another meeting, so I'm sure we'll talk about it again on Saturday. But if you want to enter, go to our website, to the Parks and Rec Department website, and enter. It's always great. What year is it this year, 12? Year 12 this year. It's always a fun night. I'm sure we'll see Santa Claus.
You think so?
I think Santa Claus will be showing up this
Maybe.
year.
Mrs. Claus coming?
I don't know about Mrs. Claus.
She's going to bring the cookies.
Yeah.
Okay, and the following weekend, on the 9th, with a rain date of the 10th, we're having the second annual Shrub Oak tree lighting. The tree is up, the lights are on it, and the library is putting on a little arts and crafts for the kids there. There's going to be an arts and crafts table. There's going to be a chorus singing Christmas carols, about 35 people. Santa is going to be brought in on a fire truck, I heard. And they're going to, the deli across the street, the Lakeland Deli, is going to be supplying their great little cider donuts and hot chocolate. Yeah. And then you have the Irish shop across the street.
Celtic Air.
Celtic Air, great little place to go. Ashley has a nice little business there. Oh, and we're going to have a special guest. I believe the Grinch is coming.
Oh, boy.
The Grinch is going to be there. I don't know if he's bringing his dog, but the Grinch is coming. And
We'll talk about Peaches and Pit Supervisor. Mr. Rooney passed away this week.
yes,
So
that's
we give a big shout out
that's sad.
for our love and our condolences and our wishes for Mr. Rooney. He had a strong fight, and his daughter is amazing at that Celtic Air. He's
Yeah.
got a huge legacy of beautiful kids.
Yep, they do a nice job out
And,
there.
you know, we thank you for all your years of service, even in town, with your beautiful gazebos and stuff.
They owned that little business on the corner of Route 6 and East Main and Strawberry Road, where they sell the sheds, and they had the Christmas trees and the plants during the summer and so on and so forth. And Mr. Rooney was always there with a smile to help you out whenever he could.
Yeah, him
and then he had his son there that was taken over towards the end because poor Mr. Rooney, he was suffering from macular degeneration. So that's
Just keep them and their family in our prayers.
yeah. So check our check the website. There's some events coming up, and I think everybody's going to have a good time at the two tree lightings because there's a first tree lighting right at the end of the electric light parade.
Absolutely.
All right,
Supervisor, can I interject for a moment?
you may.
Can I ask Jim Martirano to come up and address the additions that have been added to the Holiday Lights Parade? I know we didn't mention that, and I think that the timing would be important for people to know. So,
Yeah, absolutely. So Perry and Yorktown Auto Body, they've been great partners throughout the years here, and Perry wanted to put on a small concert for the pre-event, the festivities, from 2 o'clock to around 4:30. So there's going to be some live music there. Unfortunately,
The Showtime Dance Band, I believe he has,
yes.
and their phenomenal Motown group.
Yeah, and so
Nice.
we're all very excited about that.
Yep.
And one of the co-hosts, Christian Shopper Jacobs, is going to be singing some Christmas songs as well after that band. And it should be great. But unfortunately, we're going to have to shut down Front Street for a little bit longer than usual, thanks to the highway superintendent. We're working that out, and the chief of police from Underhill to Richard?
Richard Place. Yes.
Richard Place. That was a small portion will be shut down, and the cars getting access to the businesses, as well as vehicles that are lining up, are going to be coming down Mosman and lining up and going to the businesses through Mosman. So that's kind of the traffic game plan there for that day, but it should be great.
So I'll send you a voice note because I'll be in school. I have a clinical training that weekend, but I sing mean jingle bells, so I'll go ahead and send it over, and then you guys.
Do you
can
want us to
play
put it? Do you want us
Put
to
it on
put
with the
it
sleigh.
put it through the bandstand?
I
so
don't know if
everyone
my
can hear it?
husband will stay married to me if I do that. But I'll go ahead and send my wishes for all the happy holidays that day.
That'd be great.
And also, I believe, Jim, we have a menorah lighting.
Yes.
On the
Rabbi
10th,
Hebert, yeah. Yes.
at 4 p.m. at
Over at the community center, the Veterans Track, Jack DeVito Gazebo and Veterans Track there. There's our annual menorah lighting, so that should be fun too.
That should be good.
Yeah. So come on out to that event, 4 o'clock, and there's going to be some arts and crafts for the kids and things of that nature, and some live entertainment.
Yeah, they
also.
always have a ball there. I know Rabbi does a great job.
Oh, he does an
with all
outstanding
that.
job. Yeah.
He really does. All right.
Thank you, Jim.
Jim,
Thanks,
thanks so
Jim.
much.
Thanks, Jim.
Okay, we're going to move on to our good friend John McMullen as our poet laureate. And now he's got a shirt there, so we know he's a poet.
Just as an aside, you mentioned St. Mary a number of times today. The woman who runs that is a terrific person.
Oh, God,
It was just announced that her son's business, the Petersfield Brewery, is closing.
That's Berardi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Cindy Smith. I don't know if is she still there?
Who's Cindy?
No, Mrs. Berardi.
I'm not sure.
Deborah Roddy, yeah. When I came in, I was going to read the election is over that I had written for last week, thinking there was a meeting, but there wasn't. But today, my new book, autobiographical poems, came in the mail, and I'm going to read something from this for Diana. I'm going to have to email you the poem rather than This Old House. In 1954, just before the rock and roll explosion, Rosemary Clooney had a #1 hit, This Old House. We normally remember it as This Old House. I was then living in a New York City apartment. I never thought of living in a house, certainly not an old one, but I like the song. Now I live in an almost 300-year-old converted barn with a wife, a dog, and 2 cats. I wouldn't have it any other way. When I first got married, I wanted to live in a New York City apartment. My new bride, a Philadelphia princess, said, "No way." It's funny how our visions change.
Here's John. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you, John. That was a short one.
Well, the visions that change were not too short.
But I'm pushing the book.
I got you. That's
I
okay.
thought that was a commercial in there.
And wait, there's more. With this, you get a free set of Ginsu knives. Okay, we're going to open up Courtesy of the Floor. And as a reminder, you can always contact us. You don't have to wait for Courtesy of the Floor. You can always call Town Hall, our town officials, our town departments. We are here to work for you. You can visit us on the town's website, www.yorktownny.org. You can find all the contact information for everybody here on the dais, town clerk, even the town attorney. And, of course, your elected official. As a reminder, there is a 3-minute time limit on your comments for Courtesy of the Floor. We ask that you keep them directed to the town board, and we'll ask, as always, that your comments remain focused and respectful, and please keep them to the point of the town agenda, or the meeting agenda. Okay, Courtesy of the Floor.
Good evening, Jay Copstein. Tom, congratulations.
Thank you,
Ed,
Mr. Copstein.
Diana, congratulations.
Thank you.
During the election campaign, the issue of ethics came up and campaign contributions. I think you, Supervisor Diana, and you, Councilman Lachman, responded to those inferences quite well. But I would like to point out to people here and people listening that if they go onto the New York State Elections Department website, they will find that 3 of the candidates opposing you took political contributions from the same people who appear before the town board. Hypocrisy is wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you,
Jay.
Mr. Copstein.
Tom,
Yes,
are
sir.
you going to be the Grinch?
No, I'm kind of that most of the time anyhow. But somebody else is going to be that. Jane and Walt. Traffic hazards. Airplanes.
Trail Town.
Trail Town. ATVs.
That's right.
My name is Walter Daniels. I'm here representing the New York, New Jersey Trail Conference. I want to thank the board for working on the changing the Yorktown ATV laws. But the current draft has a number of problems, due in large part to confusing terminology. One of the goals of changing the law is to make it easily understood by non-lawyers, as people don't obey that which they can't understand. So, tackle the first thing is state law refers to self-propelled vehicles. That's not obvious what that means. What they mean is pedaled and/or motor-driven. So it doesn't include trailers or things you're dragging. The names of vehicle types is not well defined, but they should defer to the definition in the state law, which sort of defines some of them. But if you come upon an individual vehicle, what it's really classed as is really defined by the manufacturer, who sort of know the rules of how to classify it, because it's based on whether they have headlights or proper brakes or whatever they need to satisfy things. So I gave everybody up there a sort of a cheat sheet to what vehicles look like.
You want to zoom in on it, Tom, if you can?
I have 2 copies.
I got it.
Thank you, sir.
The confusing ones, in particular, are some of the electric bikes or mini bikes. Those, if you look at the pictures, look very different. Electric bike looks much like a regular bicycle, and mini bikes don't look anything like that. And they have totally different set of state laws that apply to them.
Mm-hmm.
The e-bikes by the state are allowed on roads with a speed limit of 30 miles or less. But that, as we know, is widely disobeyed. As we see many bikes riding on 202, which has got a speed limit well over 30. But the mini bikes are not on any roads anywhere. And those are some of the offenders that we frequently see around town are the mini bikes. They've been seen on sidewalks, in parks. Fortunately, not on the trails. At least
Walt, your 3 months is up.
Jane, you want to pick it up from where you left off, or you got your own?
Oh, we tag team. Okay. Okay. I'm the other half of the Jane and Walt team. Okay. And again, speaking for the New York, New Jersey Trail Conference. Most people can not visually distinguish a bike from an e-bike more than 50 feet away. And there are different classes of e-bikes. Yeah. Right. And the level 1 is the easiest one. That's an assist. You have to pedal. And that's a great way of alternate transportation around town. So we're glad to see those and would like to see those not included in the law. Off-road is used in 2 contexts. It's a place not on a public road, or it's also is a vehicle type, which includes road-registered vehicles like a Jeep that can be also used off-road. So the word in the law that you are trying to write, unregistered, does not distinguish between whether registration is required or whether registration is not current. And one solution is to use the term unregistratable to vehicles that cannot be registered. So, now on to my comments. Okay, I'm going to try to get it all in. We'd like you to see remove references to e-bikes and mini bikes because neither are able to be registered in New York state law. So they are the unregisterable vehicles. Mini bikes are already illegal to operate on roads or sidewalks and are unable to be registered. And our law here in Yorktown, if we revise it, should be able to distinguish that as well. Allow e-bikes, don't ban them. This is an interesting one, and I'd like Adam's attention on this one, excuse me, that you have a double negative in the sentence about employees in the town of Yorktown. This is section 27533. I don't know about you remembering anything from math class, but two negatives make a positive, so I would check on that. I will also give you a sheet of my remarks. We'd like to see the fine increased to $200 for the first offense and add charges for damages and additional fines for the motorized vehicles that include court fees. Somewhere between $40 and $300, no registration on the driver, up to $150,000, not $150,000, $1,500, no insurance, that is no insurance card on the driver, $200 for no license plate, $100 for no written permission of the private landowner on the driver, and $200 for each unsupervised minor driver. By the way, I'd like that you had upped the age to 18 on the youth, okay? Increase the fine for the second offense and confiscate the vehicle to be sold for scrap. Not sold. We don't want to pass everything on to our neighbors in the next town.
Jane, your comments are.
Okay, I will turn them on. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
I like it when you have the
I know I didn't have my laptop today. So.
It's really helpful because then you can speed up.
It's like speed reading, right,
35
Jane?
miles an hour.
35 on it.
Good evening, Susan Siegel. I wasn't planning to speak tonight, but I'd like to follow up on what Jane and Walt said. And tonight I'm wearing my hat as president of the Yorktown Trailtown Committee. I sent the Trailtown Committee did submit some comments on the draft legislation. And first of all, thank you for trying to deal with this issue. It's been a long time in coming. I was here, was it 2 years ago, I think, when Jane and Walt first brought it up. Sadly, we know what happened and why the issue is being taken care of. I think I just want to reemphasize 2 points. Separate out ATVs from e-bikes, which is something that the Trailtown Committee has said. If you consider both a problem, and I know there have been comments about e-bikes being a problem, but e-bikes and ATVs are apples and oranges. So you can't have the same regulations for both. That's one thing. The other thing I'd ask you to consider is that while the state law does regulate ATVs, and that has to be made clear, it should be made clear in your law because that covers a lot of the regulations. State law does allow the town to add a permit requirement for ATVs. So I think you might want to consider that. You can have a fee for $5, so it's not the monetary aspect, but it's regulating it and knowing what happens, and you could put more controls over them, such as the hours of operation, which is a problem, I think, in some neighborhoods that access the trails. So just look through our general comments, and we urge you to work with Mr. Rodriguez, Jim Martirano, the Rec Commission, Trail Conference, obviously, and try to get a new draft worked out so we can get this thing moving ahead. Thank you.
Thanks, Susan.
Thank you, Susan. Is there anybody else? Mr. Strauss.
Good evening. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Mr. and Mrs. Daniels are far more technical than I am. but I do know that 2.5 years ago, they brought this situation to the town board's attention. And as far as I'm concerned, nothing was ever done. That's very sad. I'm going to now read an email that I sent to the town board on September 25th of this year. Mr. Diana and town board members, on this bleak and dreary Monday, only a few weeks before Election Day, I have a few additional thoughts about the recent ATV incident. As I have read newspaper articles and attended board meetings, it is my opinion, that the gentleman who was allegedly struck will just be another example of collateral damage on the road to nowhere. To this date, has the alleged perpetrator been charged with anything? I understand he was. Have any of the other riders been apprehended? Who will pay for the damages to town property? Shouldn't the residents of Yorktown be apprised of the status of the ongoing investigation without impeding the investigation? 2.5 years ago, it was very clear there was a problem with ATVs and dirt bikes. There was some talk, but nothing was done. Now e-bikes have appeared in the mix. There will be hours of rhetoric because the situation has escalated. Laws may be strengthened a little, but there will continue to be no enforcement for whatever reason and no consequences. So as the road to nowhere continues into the future, there is no doubt in my mind that there will be another collateral damage victim. This time, however, the person may be not so lucky. He or she may be dead before help arrives. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Hi, Sarah.
Good evening. I'm not going to be speaking about ATVs tonight, but it's an important matter. Sarah Wilson, Yorktown Heights. I'm here to ask the board, do you like to play games?
Yes.
Are you concerned about climate change?
Sure.
Sometimes.
Do you like to test your knowledge?
Yes.
Do you enjoy a good beer and yummy pub fare?
Yes.
Nope.
Well, I've got an event for you. Tonight, I'm here on behalf of Yorktown 100 to invite you and our residents to a pub talk at Mahansick Grill and Lounge, all about climate change, hosted by Yorktown 100 and Federated Conservationists of Westchester County. The event will be next Sunday afternoon, December 3rd. The team at Yorktown 100 has created a climate change bingo game to help attendees learn some useful information, some information about climate change in general, typical household emissions, and what your emission level is, how you can reduce your carbon emissions resulting from your own household activities, and how you can actually save money while helping the environment. The pub talk is free to attend. You can purchase a bingo card to help cover expenses, and the proceeds will benefit Yorktown 100 and the Federated Conservationists of Westchester County. It's split into two sessions, 3:30 to 5 and 5:30 to 7. Winners will get a prize, of course. Grand prize to whoever has the most correct answers. So start studying up. Everyone will have fun, and everyone will leave with a better understanding of climate change and how they can make a difference.
Excuse me, sorry.
Of course, food and drinks can be purchased at Mahansick Grill. More information and a link to register for the event is available on the town community calendar. Again, that's Sunday, December 3rd in the afternoon.
Do you know what times?
Yep,
3:30
to 5 and 5:30 to 7. So you can come for either session, play a game, learn, have some food and drink, and so I invite you all to come. And I see that the Hemlock Farms solar project is on the agenda in terms of the pilot. And this to me seems like a pretty good plan. I'm pleased to see that it's going forward. 4 acres on a 100-acre farm on already cleared pasture certainly makes a lot of sense. So I'm happy to see that proceeding. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.
Okay. Nobody else? I'm going to close her courtesy of the floor.
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. I'm going to let Adam, if you don't mind, Adam, speak a little bit about the law that's being drafted and the steps that we've taken, even as early as this week, late last week, early this week, on things that we're planning to do with that particular law.
Yeah, excuse me. We've been compiling the input we've received. We're reviewing it carefully. We're also communicating with some advocacy group here in the state that's pushing legislation in other venues to get their input. To make sure this is a collaborative effort, so all the stakeholders have some input and their concerns are taken into consideration before the law is, or the draft of the law is finalized and set down for a public hearing. So, that's the process we're undertaking, and we're continuing to do that so that the comments are helpful. We're going to go through them.
Yeah, it's a law that we take very seriously, and we want to make sure we have all our I's dotted and our T's crossed, so that we'll give our police and it will give warning to the people that are out there that are riding these bikes in places they shouldn't, that if they are caught and the licensing sticker, et cetera, is an excellent idea, that there's going to be consequences. And that's where we had the problems, is that there is no consequences. Quite often they're juveniles, so the consequences will be quite a bit less. But somebody had to buy these for them, whether it was parents or uncles or aunts or whoever it might have been, and the possibility is that they will have to be held responsible as well. There'll have to be some type of a adult that signs for these licenses or stickers or whatever we decide to do, that will be the responsible party. And they're going to have to take ownership of what that person, whether it's nephew, cousin, brother, sister, son, daughter, is doing out there with these particular vehicles. And with regard to the ATV incident where the man was struck, that was a police investigation that we generally don't talk about until its conclusion. And yes, there was an arrest made on it, and thank God the gentleman that was hit is doing okay. It's something that never should have happened in the way it did, but it did, and we took swift action to do what we had to do to make sure that the perpetrators were apprehended in a short period of time. Sarah, that sounds like a great little event you're going to have out there. So it's on 12/3 from 3:30 to 5 and 5:30 to 7, right? At the Mahansick Golf Course. Okay. Anybody else like to say anything to?
I'll just put out there. This was actually something that I think people don't realize out there, because it was a point of contention during the election. There is a full procedure to follow, especially when writing a law. We just can't snap our fingers and say, hey, this is done. And especially when it's something that's such a moving target. I think the rise in electric vehicles and these self-propelled vehicles over the last 2 years has just been absolutely insane. Today I had some guy on a motorized, it was probably a scooter, like zipped by me at 30 miles an hour on my street, which is a very quiet street. So you don't want to just throw a bunch of mud against the wall and see what sticks. And it has to be done right. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, the process is long. So please, don't assume nothing is happening. I think this is now the 4th meeting in a row that it's been reported on, and some of the changes that have been looked at. We've received comments from people in the town that need to be addressed, put into it. It's not a, hey, here you go, just let's make this a law today. So I think it's an unfair characterization, and I think that we need to all work at it the right way. That's all. Thank you.
Lou?
And I actually also want to just point out, like, there's these wonderful regular mountain bikes, and they're much fancier than I am, these kids today. There's all these tricksters on these bikes, and I know there's a bunch of them, and some of them are quite admirable in what they can do on the bikes. And then there's other ones that, will come really close up to another pedestrian or the constituents that are just hanging out in the park and just kind of skim right through them with the intent never to hit them. And knowing that they can control the regular pedaled bike, it's just, everyone needs, not only do we have to lock down the laws of like something that can hurt someone, but you can only prevent hurting someone by staying in your own hula hoop. Like, everyone needs to take accountability. If you're buying your kids ATVs or motorbikes or scooters, they say it on there that it needs to either be registered or whatnot. It's our job to enforce it, but I ask the community to look at themselves and say, hey, I love that you're bike riding. I love that you're out with your friends. I love that you want to go fast with these ATVs or whatever you want to do. Are you doing them safely? Are you not? And I want to just name that because, it's almost like we talk about how drivers drive. Not every biker has good boundaries and is treating the roads fairly either. So I just feel like if everyone just stayed in the hula hoop of like what's right and wrong or as close to the line as possible, because I know we're not all perfect, there could be more movement on it. So I do think it's more of a complex law. I think once we get into the ATVs, I know that I've researched a lot, even from the city up, and I've done a lot of homework now on like different models and what other ones require and waivers that companies are so smart. They make you sign off on in the event you get into an accident or your kid gets into an accident that you can't go back and sue them. So you can't even buy it without that. So in just this research, I think that we need to not only write the law, we also need to expand so that the law can continue to expand as new things start to come out, because they are going to evolve. Just like Dan's saying, we've been talking about the same thing, but ATV now is a page of like 5 different versions of what can hurt someone. So it's like, can we write a law that covers those road maps, but also allows us as a town, the town board, and also the community itself to dive into it and keep expanding and making room for changes that need to come as new things evolve. But there is that thing where I have to say, the companies are selling you a very dangerous tool because they're making you sign off on holding them harmless and liable. Like, it's a waiver right there and then once you take it out of the store, once it gets to your house. I mean, they figured it out. We should be doing a better job, for me personally, and I speak, I think, on behalf of the whole board, getting ahead of this stuff. Like, like Dan mentioned, the trail, the Yorktown Trail Committee mentioned, it shouldn't be a work in progress as life is happening. We got to start thinking ahead so we can kind of prevent the damages. So that's all I have to say.
All right.
That's it.
Mary, anything?
You've all said
And I'm not going to be here for the pub thing because I'm going to be in school. But I'll send you a video chat. That whole
We're all
weekend.
looking forward to.
I won't sing Jingle Bells to that one. I'll do
Okay.
some homework. Maybe I'll do some climate smart trivia or something.
That sounds like fun.
I like to learn.
Sure. All right. Then we're going to go on to personnel. Okay. Appoint Eduardo Hernandez as temporary motor equipment operator in the Highway Department. Be resolved, Eduardo Hernandez of Brewster is hereby appointed temporary to the Civil Service title motor equipment operator, job class 0427-02 within the Highway Department, effective November 22nd, to be paid from Yorktown CSEA Salary Group A, Group 10, Step 1, which is $57,300 annually. Congratulations, Eddie. Eddie's a good guy.
He's an excellent worker. Yes.
Good guy. Appoint Carla Esposito, no relation to Sergio Esposito, as a temporary office assistant, auto systems in the building department. Be resolved that Carla Esposito of Yorktown Heights, New York, is hereby appointed temporary office assistant, auto systems, job class 075-0-01, effective December 11th, 2023 to be paid from the Yorktown CSEA Salary Schedule A1, Group 8, Step 2, which is $59,317 annually. And then we're going to appoint Olivia Kim to Librarian 1, Children's Services at the John C. Hart Memorial Library. Be it resolved that Olivia Kim of Croton-on-Hudson, New York, is hereby appointed to the civil service title Librarian 1, Children's Services, Job Class Code 0216-01 from eligible list number 62-715, certification number 0000354445 at the John C. Hart Memorial Library to be paid from the CSEA Salary Schedule A1 Group 11, Step 3, which is $75,426 annually, with benefits such as sick days, personal days, and floating holidays to follow the CSEA agreement. And then we're going to appoint Fernando Dennis to police officer in the, did I say appoint? Yes, appoint Fernando Dennis to police officer in the Yorktown Police Department. Be it resolved that Fernando Dennis is hereby appointed police officer in the town of Yorktown effective December 4th, 2023, to be paid $61,200 annually. Be it resolved that contingent upon successful completion of medical and psychological examination, and be it further resolved that this appointment is subject to a probationary period of not less than 12 nor more than 52 weeks commencing on the first date of appointment on December 4th, 2023. Congratulations to all. All right, and we're going to skip this next one here at this point.
Supervisor, if you don't mind, I'm going to go by a range.
Go by a
Cook
range.
Top.
All right.
Does anyone have any questions with respect to my resolutions?
No, you're good, Dave.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I had one question, Dave.
Yes,
What
sir.
kind of range you buying?
I'm hoping to get a GE because that's what I had.
Old home on the range.
Good luck. Get a warranty.
Good
this
luck.
time.
You think?
I'm gonna try.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to approve the following managerial employees' vacation buyouts as listed and indicated on the agenda. Resolution from the Albert A. Cappellini Community and Cultural Center, authorize use of Nutrition Center by Chabad of Yorktown and waive the rental fee and overtime rates of $399. That's to be used on December 10th, 2023 for about 3.5 hours. From the assessor's office, we're going to authorize the supervisor to execute a 15-year pilot agreement with HB Steel Community Solar, LLC, for solar energy systems for a property located on 500 Croton Avenue. And from the Finance Department, authorize the supervisor to sign an agreement with O'Connor Davies to provide additional services related to audit time and related meetings. We're going to authorize the comptroller to process the following budget transfer for payment to the New York Power Authority for electricity at Granite Knolls due to billing error on NYPA's part. I'm going to. Is Jimmy still here? Yeah, he's here. I'll have you up in a minute. I want to hold off on doing anything with that one. I don't understand exactly what that one's all about. Do you have anything on it? No, Jim? All right.
Want to table that one for now?
Yeah, let's table that one. I want to find out what went wrong. It's not like it's $100 here.
Yeah, I think it has it with the cameras and everything else, the whole infrastructure.
Yeah, it was
It doesn't?
a billing error of $61,000. That's a big billing
Oh, the
error.
lights.
I don't know how that occurs, but no idea, Jim? No.
Well, the word there is Con Edison.
Oh yeah.
Just
Okay.
mad at me.
We're going to table that one. All right, we're going to authorize comptroller to establish a capital project for the replacement of the old Compound Road culvert and process a budget transfer to fund the beginning phase of the project. Alrighty, and then from the Highway Department, authorize the comptroller to process the following budget transfer for the Highway Department from general fund to street and traffic light. We're going to authorize the comptroller to release the following road opening permit, 002-010 to, in the amount of $2,000 to Derek A. Gilbert Landscaping. And from our Parks and Recreations Department, authorize the comptroller to process the following budget transfer for the Parks and Recreations Department. It'll be from supervisor salaries to Parks ground maintenance. Authorize the Parks and Recreations Department to auction off equipment deemed obsolete and no longer need for town use, as indicated. And no, Ed, I'm not going to read every one very carefully.
Sure.
I'm sure. All right, from the receiver of taxes, authorize comptroller to refund 2023/2024 first half penalty due to account number 3635000 in the amount of $195. We're going to authorize the purchase of a 2024 all-wheel drive Toyota Sienna LE hybrid minivan from Hudson Toyota through Senior Services Department. Okay, from the town engineer, we're going to release, authorize release of a erosion control bond, BSW PPP-028-22 to Tio Sigenza, and that's $750 for erosion control bond. Authorize the comptroller to process the following budget transfer from Yorktown Water Pollution Control Plant. That would be authorized transfer of $34,590 from the Yorktown Water Pollution Control Plant fund balance to maintenance. Then from the Water Department, authorize the comptroller to process the following budget transfer for Water Department. So it'll be from Water Professional Services to Water Materials and Supplies. We're going to authorize the supervisor to sign a change order to be attached to the the meter project agreement with Core and Main in the amount of $225,808.80 for water meter project. If I'm not mistaken, that's for the purchase of extra water meters that we needed to complete the job. Okay, and that's the comptroller hereby authorized to transfer, and we are done. And
Motion?
can I have a motion on all those, except the, oh no, we want to go back and, let's discuss that one just a little bit. On the electric, number one,
And you're holding on the
and we're holding on the chief.
Tabling on the chief.
Tabling on the chief. I just want to discuss that a little bit.
Jimmy, come up to the mic, Jim. I was reading and it looked like, for some reason, our payments were returned to us.
Okay.
Because Con Ed didn't transfer to Con Ed. Are you familiar with that, or?
I'm not overly familiar with it, but I do know that monitoring the budget, and I brought it up to finance, that money hadn't been taken out of our electrical bill this current year for Granite Knolls. So it was kind of interesting. Usually those electrical bills go to finance and they just get paid through our budget lines, but specifically the Granite Knolls light bill was not being paid this year. So I did bring up a question. I think a call was probably made recently when I brought up that question, and now that we're seeing a result here. I have not talked to Janelle today or yesterday about the specific resolution, so I was a bit surprised to see it, but it does make sense with the fact that we were not billed this year for Granite Knolls lights.
At all?
No, I mean, that line has looked like it's very healthy, and
Yeah,
and I wasn't touching it because I knew something like this might come down the pike. But
Can I make a suggestion, Mr. Supervisor?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would just table it, talk to Janelle. I personally won't lose any sleep about Con Ed not getting paid this
for
week.
sure, they could wait another
I
week.
second that.
They can certainly wait another week.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Can I have a motion on his motion?
Yeah.
Especially with the fact that it's their mistake, and they were just to give you some backstory. What happened also back in 2021 and 2020, they were overcharging us. So our fields were shut down during those 2 years, and we were getting bills, absorbent bills, so for thousands of dollars. We're saying we're not even open right now. The park's closed.
They weren't coming out and they were doing estimates without
Yeah.
reading the meter.
Exactly.
That's typical of all the power companies.
Yeah.
They only hit you like usually once every other month, but during COVID,
Yeah.
it was a lot worse.
And they shouldn't even have to do that with the new smart meters because they're kind of like our new water meters where they can be read remotely.
Right, but with Con Ed in mind, those smart meters are only as smart as the people programming them, and I
No.
So I'll just leave it at that without throwing any more shade at Con Ed.
All right.
That's as much as I know about that.
Okay, thank you, Jim. And we'll look into that a little bit. So other than those two, the one with Con Edison, one with the chief, can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And we come to everybody's favorite part of the meeting.
Not mine.
It's not yours? You want to hang out? Okay. Everybody's favorite part of the meeting. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Good night, Yorktown.
Night, Yorktown. Happy
Good night.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thanksgiving.